In this tutorial, we will look at different ways for how to lay out your tracks and clips on the screen. To DJ with Live, the bare minimum that you'll require is 2 audio tracks, and I'm going to rename these as Deck A and Deck B. These tracks can be routed to the A and B side of Live's crossfader, or if you're using an external DJ mixer, to the left and right of this. There are now 2 main options that DJs use to arrange their clips. You can either import all your music into the project so that it's laid out across the screen, or you can choose to start off with a blank screen and import files from the browser as you go. For many people, the easiest way is to create a set that has all the clips you need already laid out on the screen. This method will take longer to load up when you open up the set, however once they're all in place, they're then ready to go at the push of a button. Firstly, let's set up a couple of extra audio tracks to use as my virtual record bag. I'm going to rename tracks 3 and 4 to Record Bag. Now to demonstrate, I've already imported some of my set in, and it looks like this. I've laid out all of my clips depending on their genre, with broken beat at the top, funky breaks in the middle, and deep house at the bottom. Each of these has then been roughly arranged according to its tempo, which can be seen by the number at the end of the name. I've also colour-coded each section to make it easy to see the approximate tempo at a glance. For example, the light blue colour denotes all the records that are between 120 and 125 BPM. Finally, I've done one more thing with the clips in the deep house section at the bottom. This type of music sounds particularly good when it's mixed harmonically, and so each of these records have been arranged according to the key that it's in. I've marked the code that denotes this at the start of the file name, and then arranged the clips accordingly. We look at how to go about harmonic mixing in more detail in the advanced course in Advanced Mixing Skills. Once you have all your clips arranged in a rough order, the best thing to do is practice your set and see how well it works. When you've tested out how each mix sounds in practice, you can then easily rearrange your set to get it in the best possible running order. Remember though, try not to make this too rigid, because when performing live it's really important that you can be flexible and react with your audience. Once you spend some time working on your set, you'll realise that there's many different ways you can lay out your clips and tracks. This varies enormously between live users, and everybody's slightly different. Let's have a look at a couple of example layouts which show different ways to do it. This layout has all the records laid out from top to bottom in track 1. Whenever you want to mix to the right hand side of the crossfader, all you have to do is drag the record into track 2 and you're ready to go. In addition to this, there are a number of extra tracks which contain loops and samples which can be added in as appropriate. This layout has the whole set laid out so that you can see as much as possible at the same time. The 2 main mixing tracks are in the middle of the screen, and whenever you want to play a record, you can drag and drop it into these tracks. Loops and short samples are positioned in these middle tracks here, so that they can be easily added in whenever wanted. The alternative way of setting out your music is to leave your screen blank and simply import your records from the browser as you go. Some DJs prefer this so that they have the freedom to choose their set as they go along. If you decide to use Live in this way, there's a couple of things you should think about first. The most likely time that you'll hear a glitch in Live's playback is when files are being imported and analysed, so make sure that your computer can do this task reliably, even when doing a few other things at once. Also, it takes a few seconds for Live to analyse a new file when you import it in, so be aware that it may take you longer before the file is ready to be used. Finally, it can take more work to organise your files when using them from the browser than on the screen. Try to give your files logical names and organise them in clearly labelled folders so that you can quickly and efficiently find what you want when you want it. If you decide to use the browser to store your music in, then you should use the browser preview function, which enables you to easily search through your music. Click on the small headphone icon, and then you can hear each file just by clicking on it. If you want to listen to the middle of a file, click on the preview wave to hear the part that you want. When importing music, remember that you can import other sets in from the browser. For example, if you decide halfway through a gig that you think your techno set would go down really well, open the browser to find that set and then drag it into your current set. You can alternatively drag in individual clips or one audio track at a time. When laying out your music, if you're not sure what's the best option, you can go for the best of both worlds. Lay out the majority of your set in live, ready to go, and simply go to the browser now and again if you're asked for a request or you want to find a certain file from your music collection. That's it. You should now have a few good ideas of how to lay out your music within Live. This is the end of the track layout tutorial.